Afternoon could be strong to severe. Storms wrap up tonight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Ryan Porth here for TwinSpire Sportsbook. Happy to share that as a listener of the game, you can unlock a risk-free bet up to $1,000 for signing up with TwinSpires. Use promo code FREE1000 and you can bet with the Kentucky Derby of sportsbooks right from your phone. It could be playoff hockey, basketball, golf majors, or more. Just download the TwinSpire Sportsbook app today to get started. Void where prohibited. For terms and conditions, visit TwinSpires.com. Must be 21 or older and physically present in Tennessee. For a gambling problem, call or text the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Do you want to become a nurse but feel like expensive nursing schools or long wait lists are standing in your way? Then Aspen University's Bachelor of Science in Nursing program is for you. We built a brand new nursing campus right here in Nashville where you can earn your Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree in under 3 years. And tuition and fees for the entire program are under $50,000. Want to learn more? Just text TOUR to 323232 right now. Our hybrid approach lets you take your non-clinical classes online. And when you're ready, you'll complete your labs on campus and your clinical placement within our network of healthcare partners. Text TOUR to 323232 right now. There's no wait list. Applying is free, and it takes just a few minutes. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. If you've thought about becoming a nurse, the time is now. Text TOUR to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word TOUR to 323232 right now. Text TOUR to 323232. The total cost of your degree program will vary depending upon the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Nursing shortage statistics are from the latest Future of the Nursing Workforce report. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it. And that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Chris Brooks and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Blue Star Medicated Ointment gets 5-star reviews from our loyal users for fast relief of the pain and itch of almost any skin irritation.
Blue Star soothes insect bites and fungal infections.
It really works on the summer rashes I get every year.
I had psoriasis on my elbows. Blue Star worked wonders.
Amazing stuff. Smear a bit on and the itch is gone.
Look for the white box with the Blue Star in the first aid section. Feel Blue Star work fast or your money back.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Robbie Stanley.
I feel like this could be the start of something special.
Joe Rexrode.
I think it means that we've got, like, the toilet bowl competition is fierce, strong.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Daunic, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Don't forget to listen to the game every weekday for your chance to win $1,000. It's the game's 1K payday, presented by Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay. All you have to do is listen for the keywords at 9 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. When you hear it, go to thegamenashville.com and enter the keyword for a shot at $1,000. Right now, your shot to win tickets to see the Monkees Farewell Tour with Michael Neesmith and Mickey Dolenz at Andrew Jackson Hall at TPAC. And that'll be on Sunday, October 3rd. Sunday, October 3rd. And in honor of Todd Walker, who joined us, caller 12, 615-737-1025. You just never know when we're going to give stuff away on the show. You have to always be listening. 615-737-1025 is our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Caller 12 to Elijah Campbell, and you'll win tickets to see the Monkees Farewell Tour at TPAC on Sunday, October 3rd. Like I said, in honor of Todd Walker. Good interview, by the way. with him.
Great interview.
That was fun.
I don't know if he wore number 12 his entire career, but the majority of his career, he was 12.
I feel like he was. He played on some different teams. He had some really good years for the Red Sox and the Cubs. So he's familiar with the South Bend. He's not far from Chicago, where he played probably a lot of cold June games.
Yep.
I do wonder what the weather's going to be like up there.
Well, you never know this time of year, honestly. It could be beautiful or it could be miserable.
It could be chilly. Yeah.
So you just
it is one of the most fun things to do. I'm disappointed that they didn't have the announcers go to the regionals by this time. It's hard to call a baseball game off the monitor. It's hard enough to call any game off a monitor, but baseball especially in some of these parks, there's a lot of differently configured parks that weren't made with TV in mind, where you got some blind spots, down the lines and stuff. And Hawkins Field is one of them, right? It's tucked in there, right near Memorial Gym and the football stadium. There's not a lot of extra real estate. So if you're not there's some places where that ball is going to disappear on you. You can't tell where it is.
Yep.
And the cameras can't move quick enough to track it. So I was disappointed to hear him say they're not going on site.
At Jeff Stokes 4 on Twitter tweets at us, appreciate the college baseball talk. Love this time of year. So do we.
It's a fun thing. If most of you who follow this tournament probably have a team that you're rooting for, but I think something that's fun to do. They have a channel, and I don't know if it's ESPNU that's designated for this, but they like to, I forget what it's called, Around the Horn or something, but it's like a red zone concept, right? With all the regionals going on, they'll send you the most important game or the biggest moment in a game going on. And so if you watch for about an hour, you see about, a bunch of home runs hit with 2 on, 2 out, or you get 2 or 3 games that are going to extra innings, or 2 outs in the 9th with the tying run at third. It's really a fun way to watch the tournament. You see all the different uniforms and all the different ballparks and where it's set. And this is all stuff that we missed out on last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you are looking for TV coverage, especially here, the Vanderbilt Presbyterian game tomorrow night will be on SEC Network if you are looking for coverage of that game. I think the first game during our show is online, ESPN 3.
Yeah, I think every single game will be streamed on the ESPN, Watch ESPN, or, so if you have that access, you can literally watch any game in the tournament. So this is something I don't know, guys.
Streaming.
Is Rocker going to pitch the first game? Or, like, we've had conversations with Tim Corbin in the past. Most of the time, he does not try to save his top pitchers and assume that you're going to win the first game. I think it'll probably be Rocker, but I haven't heard them say 100% that it is.
I think there's a reason why you haven't heard them say 100%, because it hasn't been announced.
And also, speaking
to
of
my
that
knowledge,
game,
I haven't seen anything.
If you want a good backstory for that game, I don't know if you guys saw this. You guys know this. Tim Corbin started his coaching career at Presbyterian.
Yes.
When it was an NAIA school and had no budget, no funds, nothing. Tim Corbin, Joe Rexrode has a great article in The Athletic, because it's where he met Maggie Corbin, right? It's so there's a lot of history with Tim Corbin and the Presbyterian program. In fact, one of his former players is the coach for Presbyterian. So there's going to be some really fun storylines.
One of his former players at Presbyterian or at Vandy?
One of his former players at Presbyterian who played for him way, way back.
That's cool.
Is now the coach.
He's the coach, right?
He's the head coach.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. By the way, Eric Moses and Chase Elliott will join us to begin the second hour of the program. We've got some news that we're proud of and some news to share and pass along starting at 11 o'clock. But let's get to the much anticipated story from Saturday.
Okay, back to the struggle bus.
So let me just set up my end before Chase goes through the real details. Okay, so we have some real lag time. And now that I've seen all the pictures, it makes sense. From the Ryan Porth wedding, okay, which was out in the Hermitage Donaldson area, to the reception, which was at the Loveless Cafe barn, It's a pretty good stretch of road in between, but there was also a good stretch of time in between. So there was a group of us, which included Jeremy, who we used to work with, Jeremy Benefield, and his date, Bob Cole, a.k.a. Helmet, and his date, his girlfriend, and Jared and his girlfriend. And we decided to go to a place very close by, just around the corner. There was a party foul right there. So we went and we hung out there for a good while because, like I said, there was some real lag time in between. And Chase will explain why there was some real lag time in between. So we hang out there for a good while. We tell stories. We have some drinks. We have some food. And
now, is that just Jared talking, or you guys actually got to tell some stories?
I feel like it was a community effort.
Okay,
we
good.
certainly put Jeremy on the spot. We did have him tell a couple of stories that ended up in Eli's book. And by the way, of course, in Pete Weber fashion, he did call Eli during the reception at Loveless Cafe Barn.
Oh, you knew that was happening.
Slid the phone across the table to Jeremy to have Jeremy talk to Eli.
I was there, by the way, when those episodes happened. I was on that road trip, so
I did. Let me just say this. All the years I've, many times as I've heard that story, I will admit I was under the wrong impression. All this time, I thought Eli let him into the room call downstairs. He did not let Jeremy in the room. He refused to let Jeremy into his room, standing in the hallway in his underwear.
Goodness.
Yeah. So that I thought he let him in to let him use the phone to call downstairs and say, "Hey, let me in my room."
That's my favorite part of the story.
Eli would not let him in.
Jeremy, if you're listening, I would let you in, man. Why don't you knock on my door? He must not have known what room I was in.
I was
on the trip. I must have been on the same hall.
I think Eli Gold's exact words were, "Oh, hell no, you're not coming in this room."
But in an Eli fashion. Obviously, this was before my time, but this is one of the first stories I've ever
you guys
heard.
you haven't. People might have no idea what you're talking about. So
just read Eli's book and it'll be in there.
Well, let's just make the long story short. We arrived in Southern California, which was going to be an adventure for Jeremy that has several chapters.
Yeah,
right?
we don't have time to get into all of this, from
Jeremy,
totaling out a rental car, Mercedes. We can't get into all that stuff.
But if I remember correctly, Jeremy got himself something to eat, and he was in a casual attire.
Well, I just said it. He was in nothing but his underwear.
He was in the underwear, and he did the move that I think we've all either done or almost done. He put the tray outside and locked himself out of his room.
The door slammed on him.
The door slammed on him. He couldn't get back in his room, so he had to figure out, what do I do? I'm in my underwear. I got to get some help here. So he knocked on old, reliable Eli Gold, and Eli said, "Oh, you're not going."
As he looked through the people, and he was like,
"Right." Now Eli did call down.
But I'd be happy to call down for you.
I'll be happy to call down for you. And he said, I think the words of Eli were, "I've got a large man here. He's locked out of his room. He needs his key. Please hurry."
So, all right, we got to get back because we're going to run out of time.
Yes.
So we head to Loveless. Once again, even more lag. I thought everything was going to get going. At this point, they had set up basically happy hour, and, you could go out there and get drinks, whatever. So we took this opportunity to walk around Loveless, right? Go check out the gift shops. I had never been there. I admitted I've never been there, and I can't believe I'm saying that. 2+ decades in this area, in this market, and I've never been to Loveless. So we've tried in the past on special occasions and could not get in. But anyway, so we go do all that, and then we start making our way back to the Loveless Cafe barn. And there's a big roundabout right in front. And, I don't want to beat up too much on this, but I remember going, look at this beat up car right here pulling up in front of Loveless barn. I mean, it was beat up, literally somebody had taken a sledgehammer. It was out on the plaza in front of Bridgestone Arena, and somebody had spray painted canes on it. I mean, it was beat to hell. And I'm like, my goodness, what has happened to this car? And Lauren and I are walking right up to it, and all of a sudden the passenger door opens, and Chase gets out. Here's a guy all dressed up, and I'm like, I looked at him and I looked at Lauren. I looked at him. I was like, what are you doing? Why? You were on a party bus. You left what? Why are you getting out of this car?
Keyword was on a party bus. All right. So I'll pick up the story from here and
we'll have to, unfortunately,
and tell it fast.
Yeah.
So the deal was we leave the church, we're all hanging out, we have some refreshments, all that stuff, beer, and we're, having a good time. Well, we stop at a lot of different places to do pictures overlooking downtown. And there was a part where they stopped and it was just going to be Ryan and Amanda going to do pictures. So they went up to the pedestrian bridge and then they went down Broadway because the stage is kind of where they became official. So the stage is very important to them. So they wanted to go get pictures there. So in the meantime, we're all sitting on the bus for like 45 minutes. And like I said, there are refreshments and we've had quite a few. And when anyone drinks a good amount of beer, you got to pee. That's just kind of part of it.
Nature.
Yes. So I'm like, listen, I need to go pee. Well, the bride had given strict orders that nobody gets off the bus. Because she didn't want anyone going in like a bar and like them getting delayed. And I'm going, listen, I'm going to go pee. That's all I'm going to go do. I'm not going to get a shot. I'm not going to get a drink. I'm not going to have a meal. I'm going to come right back. And they wouldn't let me off. So I'm finally like, all right, I'm kind of polling. I'm asking like, hey, anybody else got to pee? And there are a lot of people that are like, yes, yes, they do. Yes, we do. Still,
I've got some liquids in my system. I've been well hydrated.
Still, nobody's
you can only cross the legs for so long.
So finally, I text Ryan and go, "Hey man, we gotta have a pee break." And he goes, "You guys may have to hold it. We're on our way back. We're gonna head to Loveless. You may have to hold it for 20 more minutes." At this point, I had already been holding it for like 30 to 45 minutes. During this whole lag time in which it would have been very simple for them to get out of my way and let me off.
Is the seal still intact here, or had you already?
No, it's intact because I haven't there's
once you break the seal, then it's
right. Then the clock speeds up. Yeah.
So the long story short is we're stuck in traffic, and I'm finally like, I just stand up and I go, guys, I gotta go. And so I go, I look at Ryan, I'm going like, I told you. Y'all didn't want to stop. I gotta go. So I go and I go, hey, I need to get off. I got off the bus. I went and I found a bathroom and I'm coming back up. Robbie Stanley's texting me like, hey, hurry, we're about to turn. I'm coming back up 3rd Avenue and I'm running. It's another Jeremy story. I am chasing after the bus as I see it just fade off. So finally
left him downtown.
So finally and then they stopped 5 minutes later, by the way. Because everybody had
so that beat up car was an Uber ride.
It was an Uber.
Street value like $1,600, and he gets out in a bow tie.
Yes, I'm glad our next guest is on hold and got to hear that story. He may rethink some things. But hey,
is Eric on the line?
He is. I got there.
He may hang up.
Gosh.
I got there, and everything was great.
Hang with us. We'll see if we still have news to report. To start the second hour of the show. That's next.
This hour of Darren, Daunic, and Chase brought to you by Train. Get a great deal this spring on a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. Visit traininfo.com to find your local dealer and learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
From Brentwood to Donaldson.
From a fantasy perspective, he is absolute gold.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
electronicexpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, Sounds fans, Jeff Henn here in Charlotte, North Carolina with your Sounds update on ESPN Nashville. Tonight, the Sounds look to tie a franchise record as they seek a 15th consecutive win. They beat Charlotte 7-4 last night. Zach Godley started it and won it, and Jake Cousins saved it in the ninth. From the belt, here's the 1-2. And it swung on and missed strike 3. 14 wins in a row. The Sounds are one win away from tying a franchise record. Jake Cousins strikes out Marco Hernandez. And the Sounds win again. Pablo Reyes and Weston Wilson each homered and had 3 hits. And the Sounds are 1 win away from tying a franchise record at 14 wins in a row heading into tonight. 6:04, first pitch from Charlotte with Josh Lindblom on the mound. This is Jeff Hem with your Sounds update on ESPN Nashville.
The ultimate social experience is coming to Nashville. My Wine Society presents Blended Festival, August 13th and 14th at First Horizon Park, with live performances by Cascade, Lil Jon, Matt Stell, Blinko Brown, Bryce Fine, and more. Enjoy Blended's massive 100-foot wine tasting tent and indulge in culinary activations by Nashville's hottest chefs. There's also Blended's relaxing wellness lounge, VIP village, and a whole lot more. Get Blended. Tickets on sale now at blendedfestival.com. Use promo code GAME at checkout for 10% off your ticket.
Social Furniture is your local one-stop all-furniture store in West Nashville with over 100 styles in store and new specials every week. Social Furniture has you covered. At Social Furniture, you'll never be hassled when you come in. Their friendly staff will help you choose the right furniture for your home. Social Furniture offers same-day delivery and free curbside pickups. Visit Social Furniture in West Nashville at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture on the web at mysocialfurniture.com.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Wholesaling Studios, powered by RumbleOn.com. It's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Second hour, Darren, Daunic, and Chase here on this Thursday, ESPN 102.5 The Game. Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe with you. We head out to Gladeville, home of the Nashville Super Speedway. Their race is coming up here very, very shortly. Eric Moses is on the line with us, track president out there, and he may or may not, after listening to that story over the weekend, have an announcement to make. Or maybe the announcement is they're going in a different direction. I'm not sure, but Eric now joins us. Eric, how you doing?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How do you feel as we sit here in early June? Everything good?
Everything is great. We are very pleased with the response that we've gotten here in Middle Tennessee and across the region, frankly, across the country for our race weekend. Still out here getting a lot done and buffing and scrubbing, bringing some TLC to our venue so that so it's everything that it needs to be to show up for its debut on Friday the 18th for our Rackley Roofing 200. But yeah, feeling good, man. Getting that nervous energy you get pregame.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Certainly that happens to everybody, right? If you're in the moment, I mean, as Hal Gill said, and you're not living right if you're not nervous before a big game, right? I mean, that's athletes go through that. So what has been a pleasant surprise through this journey as we talked to you when you first arrived to where we are sitting just weeks out from the first Cup race returning to this market since 1984? And I know it's going to be a whole weekend. As you said, the trucks, Xfinity on Saturday, and then the Cup race on Sunday. And what has been a challenge that maybe we haven't discussed with you in the past that you've learned through this journey?
Well, I guess the biggest surprise has been something that has been really favorable, and that is how collegial people have been in this industry for me. In particular, the folks at the SMI tracks, including Bristol, Atlanta, Charlotte, have been fantastic kind of mentors and peers who will field my calls and my questions about any number of things about our industry. Those guys have been fantastic. I don't know that I didn't expect that, but I certainly didn't expect the kind of really warm and sincere welcome that I've gotten across the board in this industry. So that has been a favorable thing that was unexpected but greatly appreciated. I think on the unexpected side, and it wasn't fully unexpected, but I don't think we thought we'd be coming out of COVID as quickly, as rapidly as we find ourselves right now. And so, as you guys will recall from our previous conversations, most of our planning for this NASCAR weekend has been under, the cover of the pandemic and thinking that we would have to have certain restrictions and avoid certain kinds of activities because of that. But now we find ourselves really, I won't say fully out of it, but more out than in. And that has caused some operational wrinkles that we're dealing with.
We're talking to Eric Moses. He is the president of the Nashville Super Speedway. As race weekend is approaching, Father's Day weekend later this month, the Cup race, the Ally 400 on June 20th. But Eric, I'm excited to have you on because we can finally talk about something publicly that I'm going to be involved with.
Yeah, I love breaking news, and if you're going to break news anywhere, it should be on this show. I wish I had information about Julio, and the Titans, or whether Peka's going to stick around with the Preds, but I don't. But something equally as important to Nashville Super Speedway, I have had my eyes on this young man out of Middle Tennessee State since I arrived here in September. He is very busy, one of the hardest working guys in the business, and we are proud to say that we're going to have him in our PA booth, our NASCAR weekend. Mr. Chase McCabe and our friend Joe Williams will be a mixture of old and new at the Nashville Super Speedway, keeping our fans entertained, announcing what's going on out there, and making it a memorable experience for everybody.
Well, let me say this, because you hit on it, and I'm really glad you recognize Chase, because some people, I know there's a lot of our listeners that follow Chase because he covers the Predators, or they follow Chase because of the race car expertise that he has. But, he is a guy that speaks all these different languages. He can talk about any sport, and it is due to a lot of hard work. So I just love that you recognize that for Chase. I'm really happy for him. And that's a great gig, because this, as we've been talking about now for, I don't know, the better part of a year, that we're about to go into a new chapter of racing here in our city. So this is great stuff. So congratulations.
Yeah, we're super psyched to have the big guy out here with us, and his passion for motorsports in particular is obvious when you meet him, when you listen to him, and got a chance to go down to the Monster Mile a week or so ago and hang out and see how we do it there. And I know, Chase, you're going to help us show the world how Nashville does NASCAR.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And working with Joe Williams, who I believe, Darren, Willie, you've worked with Joe or know Joe from the past. So learning from him and really enjoyed going to Dover and seeing how they do things there as well. So it's going to be fun. And I'm glad, Eric, that we got a sellout crowd on Sunday that we can talk to.
That's right. There'll be plenty of ears there to listen to you guys, and we're just super excited. And I'd be remiss if I didn't tell your listeners, there's seats left for our Friday truck race and our Saturday Tennessee Lottery 250, our Xfinity race, and they should come out. It's going to be a fantastic weekend, and there's going to be some really good racing going on out here in Middle Tennessee.
Well, we're excited for sure, and thanks for coming on and making that official. And you've done good. You've got a good hire, and he'll do fantastic. We know that on this show, and we look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks. So thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. Look, if he doesn't do well, I'm coming back to you guys.
Say, what have I done?
Yeah, we will have things to discuss for sure. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Eric Moses. That is the track president at the Nashville Super Speedway, and our own Chase McCabe will be doing the PA for that very, very special weekend that is just around the corner. Speaking of that very special weekend, we've got a special driver on the line with us. Chase Elliott is on the line with us, and we're excited to have the NASCAR scene back here in Middle Tennessee. First time a Cup race has been in Middle Tennessee area since 1984. The last go around when Dover was here, it was just the trucks. And at the time, the Busch, I know it's the Xfinity race now, it was the Busch race then. But we are excited to have another big weekend where Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is coming to our area, and Chase will be a part of that. Chase, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
What does it mean to you drivers? We know we've had enough drivers on. We've had you on to know how you feel about Nashville, but to come back and have NASCAR back on the Nashville scene? What does it mean? I know you guys talk, so we've talked to enough drivers. This is a market a lot of drivers like.
I think it's a market that NASCAR needs to be in for sure. It's a popular city, a city that's been, booming here. I feel like over the course of the last, 5, 6 years, especially. But I just think NASCAR belongs there. I would much rather see it at the fairgrounds, and hopefully one day we can achieve that goal. But being out, being outside the city a little ways, I think is a step better than we would have had if we weren't there at all. So we'll hopefully put on a good show and try to make everybody want to come back.
Chase Elliott is with us, the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and a fun weekend last weekend at Charlotte for Hendrick Motorsports. It was your 200th career Cup start, which is really hard to believe that it's already been 200 for you. But Kyle Larson dominates, wins the race, and Rick Hendrick becomes the winningest driver in Cup Series history. You won the week before to tie it. How special has it been the last few weeks at Hendrick Motorsports?
Well, it's certainly an exciting place to be right now. I feel like we're just in a good place as a company and across the board with how things are operating right now. So we just need to ride the wave the best we can. It's great to get Mr. Hendrick the record. I think he deserves to have it. There's 600 plus employees at Motorsports that deserve to have that record, that have been around for a long time, that put in a lot of work and effort to get to the track each weekend, that don't ever get the recognition they deserve. So all those men and women deserve to be on top, and I'm glad to see them where they belong, honestly. And I think for the rest of us, we're just fortunate to be in a good situation right now. We have fast race cars. And like I said, we just have to ride the wave. You're racing something that it's going to come in waves. You're going to have times where things are good for you. You're going to have times where things are bad for you. And you just have to take them as they come. And right now, things have been good. So we need to make the most of it and make it last as long as we can.
What does it mean now that, Jimmy has moved on, he's retired? I guess from a Hendrick Motorsports point of view, you're the elder statesman. I know Kyle's been in the Cup Series for a while, but his first year there, Alex Bowman, William Byron. Now you have this group of young guys that you're all kind of coming up together, and now it's kind of your show to help take Hendrick into the next era. It went from the Jeff Gordon era to the Jimmy Johnson era. So what does it mean to kind of be at the forefront of that?
Well, I think it's like I said before, it's just an exciting place to be. And it is kind of crazy how quickly it's changed. I remember my first race over there, you had Jimmy, Jeff, Dale, and Casey. And that was their lineup. And then I ran a fifth car there in 2015 for a few races. And just crazy, as there's only been a few of us in that room that have watched it literally change year to year and watch the people leave and but be able to work with them before they do. So it's honestly an honor to kind of see how that dynamic has shifted and to see those guys move on and have other things in their life to go want to achieve and enjoy time with their family and do all the things they deserve to go do. But then also to see young guys come in and have the opportunities they have, much like myself and really our entire crew right now. So yeah, like I said, just an exciting place to be. Looking forward to the rest of this year and seeing what it brings.
So how would you evaluate, you're coming off your first win a couple of weeks ago at COTA, which that was wild, watching you guys try and race in the rain. Let's start with that. What was that like, running in the rain?
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge for sure. It was raining pretty hard there from the midway on to when they called it. But there were elements of it that I thought were fun. Rain racing is definitely different. It's a type of racing that we haven't done a lot. I did it once in a stock car in 2014, I think, but that was really the last time. So it's just different. And, there's parts of it that are fun. Obviously the visibility aspect of it and how hard it was raining. Some of the standing water became a large challenge there towards the end of the day. But, I thought overall it just different, and I don't think it was as bad as some might have thought, but it definitely was elements of it that were fun, but I definitely think there was a line somewhere, I guess, that had to be drawn to to what we could do and what we couldn't.
So with your season, you got the win, you're fourth in the standings, you finished second last week in the Coke 600. Do you feel like things are, I feel like with you, it's always been, you get a handful of races in and that's when things really start to come together and we see some wins. Do you feel like that things are starting to come together for your team and maybe you can chase that second championship?
I certainly hope so. For us, we kind of, I feel like we really go about things just like we always do. And I don't feel like we're in a different space today than we were last year or at the beginning of the season. So we just got to keep pushing ahead, keep looking forward to new opportunities, and bring fast race cars to the racetrack and execute good racing. And I feel like our group is plenty good enough to compete with whoever on a weekly basis. And I feel really good about that. So I'm just excited for more chances to go and try to win and keep battling.
What is it? There's another road course coming up this weekend at Sonoma. What is it that makes you so good on the road courses? We've seen you really shine your entire career.
Yeah, I get that. That's been a popular question over the course of this week, and I really don't have a great answer for you. I never really have had a good answer for that question. The best thing I can tell you is I came into a good situation with the team I kind of fell into. Jeff Gordon was a fantastic road racer, one of the best that NASCAR has ever seen. And Alan has a great understanding of road course racing, my crew chief, to be successful. So when you have those two things together and those guys who have built a really nice foundation, and then you have a young guy come in like myself, when that foundation is already built and a young guy is trying to learn, when you learn on a good foundation, it's a lot easier to learn than when you're also trying to build a foundation while you learn. And that really, I feel like, has been probably the biggest piece that has allowed us to do well. So I still think I can do a better job. I feel like our cars we can continue to improve there too. So just all around, I feel like I fell into a good spot and was able to learn fast and learn about the things that mattered, and try to get better from there. So yeah, we're looking forward to the weekend. Sonoma hasn't been great, honestly. Sonoma has been that road course that we just have not ever really run great at. So we've tried to dissect some of that going into the weekend and look to be a little better. So hopefully our thought process is on time and we can improve like we think we can.
You mentioned how good Jeff was at road courses and getting advice from him, but whether it's a road course or oval or anything, how much do you lean on your dad on getting advice on running some of these places?
Yeah, and Dad was a great road racer too. I think kind of gets swept under the rug, but he had success on road courses and always really enjoyed them. And I feel like that's a big piece of it too, is you have to enjoy that stuff. And used to you only had a couple road course races on the schedule, and now we have like 6 or 7. So it's kind of one of those things where you almost have to enjoy it now. But yeah, Dad's always been a great asset and offers his opinion when he feels like he needs to, and I always try to listen to a little bit of everything from everybody and then piece together what I feel like is important from there.
Well, Chase, best of luck this weekend at Sonoma, and we're looking forward to seeing you here in a few weeks in Nashville. Maybe you can win the inaugural Ally 400. That'd be pretty cool.
Be great. Appreciate it.
All right. He is Chase Elliott, the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion, drives the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, and he will be one of the drivers racing at the Nashville Super Speedway coming up Father's Day weekend. And you guys heard it there. I mean, that being able to lean on guys like Jeff Gordon and then his dad, Bill Elliott, that doesn't hurt.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's like me. I get to lean on you guys to learn radio.
Wow. Yeah. You compared us to Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott. Well, thank you, but that's a bit of a stretch.
Hey.
Thank you, though.
Hey, I'm
take it.
We'll take you, but that's
high praise is deserved.
That's I'll tell you what, Bill Elliott. No, I was thinking about this when watching the Indianapolis 500 over the weekend, and I don't know the answer to this. I think it would be something really cool, I think, but I don't know. You may shoot it down quickly. But when I was watching the race, what if for a weekend they took all the stock car drivers and they put them in the open wheel cars and they raced at the, I don't know if it's the, at the Brickyard or whatever, pick a place. And they took the open wheel drivers and threw them in the stock cars and had them race fill in the blank track. How would that look?
It's a really good question because I think especially taking the NASCAR drivers, the drivers, like the really good drivers would stand out for you. I mean, they would pop out real fast. Mm-hmm. I would expect somebody like Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Chase, because of his road racing background. I think they would stand out. Those cars are, I mean, they're both equally difficult to drive in different ways. And so I think the best drivers are the ones that just really know how to handle the car.
But would it be a disaster?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt.
Oh,
no
yes,
doubt.
It would be a disaster.
Well, because think about it, like especially if you're used to driving a stock car, so you're used to having fenders and you can lean on a guy. You can't do that,
right? You can't do that stuff, right?
Yeah, you can't.
And
do
then
that
what about on the flip side? How would they handle bumping?
I think
rubbing and
some would like
drafting. I guess they drafted open wheel, but
yeah,
they just don't touch.
I think that there would be some that, like Elio's going to drive a stock car this summer with Tony Stewart's deal out at the fairgrounds. Actually.
By the way, Elliot will be here the first week of August.
He will. He's going to be here twice.
How cool is that?
Yeah, he's going to be here in July and August. So
yeah,
he's running a handful of IndyCar races, and Nashville is one of them. But I've always thought whenever Joseph wins the Indy 500, I think you're going to start hearing the NASCAR rumors. I've always thought that. I've tried to ask him about that, and he dodges it. I know you have.
I've asked him many times.
You've asked him, and he kind of dodges it. I think that he will eventually. So he'd probably be fine, but it's a different discipline. So, I mean, there would certainly be a learning curve. But Tony Stewart did it. Tony Stewart.
Right. Like I know
Jimmy's
in the past,
trying to do it.
There were certain guys, right, that they would excel because they had done it, right? They had flirted with it. But I was just curious, like, what it would look like. I didn't know if it was a dumb question because I would like to see it. I think it would be, the intrigue would be huge. And I think it would get tons of attention. But I don't know how silly it would look and how it would play out. And then it would, if it's a disaster, everybody's looking at the heads of those two sports going, what in the world were you thinking?
I would like to see more drivers try the double. And I would like to see NASCAR and IndyCar get together and do a weekend, like together at a track, whether it's Texas or, not Indy, they did the road course last year. They ran, Indy cars and the Xfinity series, I guess. But find a track that both can run at, do a weekend and have some crossover, have some, and whether, it's Xfinity doing, you have some IndyCar drivers driving Xfinity, but I think you're going to really get people's attention if it's Cup and have guys try and run the double. I think that'd be cool.
We'll come back. Mike Krzyzewski is having a press conference, and they've already announced his successor. This is going to be his last season. He is 74 years old. He'll be 75 years old. We're going to get into why we think. There's been some interesting articles, and I was having these thoughts because I had talks with people of why do we think this has happened? We're going to discuss on the other side, like what brought him to this point. Why now? We'll discuss that on the other side as you listen to Darren, Daunic, and Chase. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
There's a shot to score off the left
And the Predator season is over.
The Preds season may be over, but there's a lot of work to be done.
You can protect 7 forwards and 3 defensemen.
What players will get new contracts?
Or you can protect 4 forwards and 4 defensemen.
And who will be protected for the upcoming expansion draft? Keep it here for all of your Predators off-season news. Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The NBA playoffs are here. This is Joe Rexford inviting you to Hoops Heaven, betting all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. A lot of exciting matchups going on. Some of these series have finished. You've got some great ones still going on. Mavs, Clippers among them, with Luka coming up with a massive performance. FanDuel is taking the excitement of it all to another level because new and existing users can bet risk-free throughout the playoffs. New users, you can get up to $1,000 back if your first bet doesn't win. And when you have an account, you can bet one same-game parlay risk-free every week. The same-game parlay allows you to combine multiple bets for an even bigger win. You can go with the money line, the point spread, but also so many different player props, assists, threes, first basket scored, all kinds of combinations. And if you don't win, you get up to $10 back on the same-game parlay. So basketball fans, now's the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. Sign up with promo code Joe102. Bet the NBA playoffs risk-free exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Risk-free bet for first online real money wager only, and refund issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Same-game parlay refund issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same-game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
The Nashville Soccer Club enters its second season with another run to the MLS Cup playoffs. Tune into ESPN 94.9 all season long for the action brought to you by Camarena Tequila. The best place to bet on soccer is Twin Spires. Download their app today and place your bets.
Do you want to become a nurse but feel like expensive nursing schools or long wait lists are standing in your way? Then Aspen University's Bachelor of Science in Nursing program is for you. We built a brand new nursing campus right here in Nashville where you can earn your Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree in under 3 years. And tuition and fees for the entire program are under $50,000. Want to learn more? Just text TOUR to 323232 right now. Our hybrid approach lets you take your non-clinical classes online. And when you're ready, you'll complete your labs on campus and your clinical placement within our network of healthcare partners. Text TOUR to 323232 right now. There's no wait list. Applying is free, and it takes just a few minutes. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. If you've thought about becoming a nurse, the time is now. Text TOUR to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word TOUR to 323232 right now. Text TOUR to 323232. The total cost of your degree program will vary depending upon the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Nursing shortage statistics are from the latest Future of the Nursing Workforce report. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Time to save cash fast. It's the 1025 The Game Deal of the Week from Boom Ba's Craft Pizza and Tap House. Go to thegamenashville.com right now. Get a $30 gift card for half off. Boom Ba's has award-winning craft pizza, delicious wings, 20-plus local and domestic beers on tap, and TVs galore. There's even a playground at their East Nashville and Spring Hill locations for the kiddos. 4 locations: East Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, and Spring Hill. Head online to thegamenashville.com.
1025 The Game and T-Mobile are partnered up to give you a chance to experience a Nashville SC game this season. Tune in every Monday to Darren, Daunic, and Chase for the keyword to text in to win. Good luck from 1025 The Game, T-Mobile, and Nashville SC.
After a long, cold, miserable, snow-shoveling, polar vortex, frostbitten winter, the last thing I want to do when spring arrives is yard work. So here's a helpful tip to get you out of raking and reseeding. Advice on how to go golfing instead of whacking weeds and mowing the lawn.
Zoom across your yard with precision and ease on a new Kubota zero-turn mower. Right now, you can get 0% financing up to 72 months on certain models. Visit Coleman Tractor, featuring Kubota's full line of Kubota lawnmowers, utility vehicles, and more. Check out the all-new Sidekick utility vehicle with best-in-class acceleration and the strength to haul half a ton or tow a full ton. When your job demands precision construction equipment, Kubota has earned a solid reputation for well-engineered products that are reliable and deliver results. Coleman Tractor has 4 convenient locations in Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Clarksville, Paris, and their newest location in White House. Now through June 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more info.
Introducing in-person payments from PayPal, a touch-free way for your customers to pay and tip. Whether you're a hot dog vendor.
Mustard? You gotta have the mustard.
A personal trainer.
Don't you drop those knees, Sandra!
Or a boba shop.
Brewed to pearly perfection.
Signing up your business is easy. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan, pay, and tip too. Shop safe with touch-free QR code payments. Fees may apply. For more info, go to paypal.com/us/getQRcode.
Tonight.
And here it drives one. Deep left field. Irvin back looking up. Gone!
The Nashville Sounds continue their road trip against the Charlotte Knights.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 5:50
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I could fly.
Got a Predators season recap tonight. A look ahead into the offseason, starting at 6 o'clock this evening, right here on these airwaves and the Game Nashville app. That's how you can listen. Be myself, Pete Weber, and Hal Gill from 6 until 8 o'clock. So 2 hours of fun. We'll have General Manager David Poyle join us, Head Coach John Hines, and a cast of thousands will be a part of it. And we'll discuss everything that took place this season and a look ahead, what to expect in the offseason, as a lot of the players spoke yesterday. We played a lot of that sound, and we'll get into all that tonight from 6 until 8 o'clock. So hopefully you can give that a listen. Also, congratulations to Kenneth Coleman. Kenneth was lucky caller 12. So Kenneth will be at TPAC in early October to see the Monkeys farewell tour. So congratulations to Kenneth Coleman. All right. Talked about Mike Krzyzewski. He's going to retire after this upcoming season. He's 74 years old. He's entering his 42nd season as Duke's head coach, and had a lot of time to reflect since that news came out yesterday of the kaboom. Oh, by the way, Coach K's out. Roy Williams had the kaboom a couple months ago that he's done at North Carolina. Now you have Mike Krzyzewski at 74. He'll be 75 during this season. This will be it. Farewell tour for him. They've already announced his successor, John Shire. And of course, it feels like he just played a couple of years ago, but he is going to be the successor. But what do you guys make of kind of the, I guess, what do you have? Jim Boeheim? There's not very many old guards left in college basketball.
Which, and he retired like
he's
3
older.
times.
He's even older than Coach K.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How old is Boeheim? Is he pushing 80? Oh,
76.
Wow.
Hasn't he had multiple coaches in waiting too? That's kind of like been the
I thought
thing with him.
He's announced
Jim
his
Boeheim is
retirement
not
a few
going to.
times.
Jim Boeheim, you're going to have to drag him out of there. He ain't stopping anytime soon. He's got his sons playing. I mean, he's 76. He's got 2 sons playing. right.
Yeah, Buddy's pretty good.
Oh, he's really good.
How come we haven't discussed them hitting the wall, and if they're on the back end of their coaching career, and if this is where the drop happens, and this is where the production goes down? How come we haven't talked about that with those guys? These guys are all in their 70s. Like, you're not supposed to coach well in your 70s.
Well,
because they're elite.
You could argue that
they're elite coaches. Oh, that's right. They're elite coaches.
But
there's been some rise and there's been some fluctuation in Syracuse's success. These guys are the greatest of the great, right? In terms of just making it this far and racking up so much success. But with Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski going out over a 2-year period, there was a couple of really good articles in The Athletic yesterday. Iman Brennan wrote one, and Oh no! Why am I?
We've had
blanking
on the show many times.
Yeah, and who's the? Why am I blanking on her name? We had her on all the time. Dana O'Neill. She had another take on it. They both kind of hit the big pictures. One of them is like, what will Duke look like? Is Duke going to be like Kansas, where you just keep right on going? You bring the next guy in, and it's still Duke, or is it going to be more like Indiana, where it's never quite the same after you lose the guy that builds the whole thing, right? It could go one of two waves, really. North Carolina, I guess, would be in the same category, right? North Carolina has been able to do it. They've been able to do it, right? Because Roy Williams has been so successful. Yeah. And they're still in the family. Duke is going to try to attempt to do this with John Shire. He's only 33. He was a great player. But Duke, as we know, right, does not have, unlike Dean Smith. Dean Smith had Eddie Fogler, Roy Williams doing really good things, coach of the year kind of stuff. And obviously Roy Williams off the charts. So he was the obvious guy. It just took a second wave to get him over there, right? He didn't go on the first wave. And they had the Matt Doherty thing and the Bill Guthridge thing. But once they got him there, North Carolina remains what it's been. But I think that's one question. And then the other question that people are trying to grasp is, Coach K, he is getting up there at an age. I mean, you can't blame him. He wants to spend time with his grandkids, his family. He wants to go to that next stage of life, which is fine. But it also coincides with all of these firestorms of college basketball, all of the things they're tearing away at what makes it so great.
Yeah, and I mean transfer portals and things like that.
But he had a guy opt out. They were on the bubble. He had a guy opt out.
Yeah, but
in the middle of the season.
I do wonder
because he wanted to get healthy for the draft. When is it? That's got to be a foreign language to Coach Krzyzewski. It's got to be.
Well, he can't coach players the way that he's done it most of his career too. Like players just don't respond to. No. They just. I mean, I'm willing to say it. I mean, I think today's kids are just a lot softer, personally, and I know that's an easy thing for people. The older people always say, "Yeah, well, I mean, I coach kids today. I see kids. I got a 9-year-old. These kids today, I just don't think they don't like to, they don't want to be. They want to be coached a certain way, and they don't really want. I mean, did Krzyzewski not just run into that? Right, a kid. He tried to coach a kid up, and the kid's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna. You're basically not gonna do that to me."
And they were fighting to get into the tournament. Like
and they didn't.
And they missed.
And they missed.
I mean, that's what with both Roy Williams and Coach K, I look at it as how much did this year really, just make them both go, you know what, it's time.
And by the way, I'm not talking about grabbing kids and screaming and spitting in their face. Like, I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm just saying
but being
these guys have been hard their whole career. Like, they don't put up with crap. And just if they do now coach hard, a lot of kids just say, I'm out of here.
No, 4 guys on Duke are in the transfer portal I read yesterday.
Yeah.
The 4 guys leave.
Yep.
So,
how much does the one and done thing also affect him? Because he did not want to go down that rabbit hole, but he was forced to. I mean, he has to. You're at Duke. Like, you can't turn down great talent to say, you're only going to be here a year, so I'm passing. You'll take Zion Williamson, right? You'll take these one and done kids. And I don't think a guy like him wants anything to do with one and done. He wants to have guys that he can coach for several years. And he had to go down that rabbit hole, right? I know everybody says, acts like Kentucky's the only one that does one and dones, but that's not the case at all. North Carolina was doing it. Duke was doing it. Kansas is doing it. All the blue bloods were doing it. If you can do it, right? If you can get those kids. I don't think he particularly loved that either. And that's where it is today. Like, you can't turn the other way.
He certainly benefited from it.
Yeah.
He's benefited from it for sure. And now it's even getting to the point, though, where there's other options for those guys. You can go, there's other things being created, right? Where you can go overseas for a year. You can find a way to fill that year before you become eligible for the draft. So you can circumvent college basketball entirely. So it's not that college basketball is even guaranteed to get those guys for 1 year.
I want to go back to something you just said, though, Darren, that kids are softer today because you're right. And, you know, everybody, like you and I have had conversations about, you know, this business. I mean, you're going to harden up. That's natural. As you grow up, you're going to go through
life
things.
will harden you up.
But like, I know from like people my age, and then just looking at people 5, 6, 7 years younger, there's a huge difference. There's a big gap of, you know, how people are wired. And I wonder, you know, because you see things go in cycles and waves, you know, does it eventually kind of come back where you see not necessarily the old school coaching styles and playing styles of, like, you know, you guys growing up or even earlier, like the 60s and the 70s and things like that. But do you think things come back around at some point where just how people act of being soft or just wanting everything handed to you, you realize that, oh, this isn't going to work. And so we're forced as a society to evolve and go back.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
Because
I really don't know the answer, though. It's a great question.
I just don't like how it's accelerated. We started talking about this probably 4 or 5 years ago, where the mentality, even before this rule now, where you can transfer one time without sitting out. The transfers, especially in college basketball, when coupled with the one and done thing, it was just tearing at the cohesiveness, right, of what you see. There's just less and less teams that you can grasp onto, where a guy's going to school and saying, this is where I'm going to be for 4 years, sometimes 5 years, you know, and this is where I'm going to develop. And it just isn't happening like it was. It's like, I don't like it here after a semester. All right, where are the other places where I could go? It'll be better over there. It's not always better, right? A lot of times it's the same. Sometimes it's worse, you know, but you don't know that until you go through it. But because you have such an easy time doing it, and you got more people telling you to do that, then it just starts feeding off of itself. And I wonder how that, you know, Coach K's evolved. He's figured out how to be successful.
Sure. You don't last
throughout all
long.
of that,
Sure.
right? He's evolved with all of that, but it's got to wear on you. It just, he's got to look back on those teams he had in the 80s, the early 90s, where guys still did stay. Great players stayed for 3-4 years, right? That had to be much more rewarding. He would probably never say that, because I'm sure he cares about every kid that's played for him, even if it was only for 1 or 2 years. Special players like Zion Williamson was there for 1 year. I'm sure he'll always enjoy the fact he got him for that 1 year. But when you had a guy for 4 years, you know, a Christian Leitner, a Bobby Hurley, a Grant Hill, you know, Johnny Dawkins, you know, some of those teams that really made Duke
There's no
what
way
it
to
is
do
now.
it the same. Yeah, there's no
just
way.
not the same.
Yep.
It's not the same.
No doubt. Let's go to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Larry wants to weigh in. What's up? Hello, Larry.
Hi, guys. I'm a big Kansas fan. And my comment on this whole subject is, with all these transfers, I think the loyalty of the current players, the one and dones for sure, they don't care what's on the front of their jersey. They care who's on the back of it. And I think the loyalty factor of these players is really reached a low point. When a Kansas one and done player says, I enjoy going to Kansas, in the past, he said, I enjoy going to KU. They were locked in. They thought of it as their school. They called it KU. Now they call it Kansas because they're only there for a year or two. And I just don't see it going back, because now they're going to start getting paid. So, I mean, I think the whole thing is kind of in an irreversible course. What do you all think?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Thank you for the phone call. And
it's a great
question. By the way, as we've talked about this, that landscape is changing. Is there any chance, and I think I've asked this question before, but now that it just keeps going, you know, we get even more news and more definitive news on that front. Is there any chance that this could keep players around longer, or no?
I don't think it'll affect the top guys that we have in mind when we're saying that, because he's a Kansas fan, right? He's thinking Kansas gets the top guys. Right? They've had to evolve. They've gotten themselves, as we know, in recruiting hot water, going after these guys. When you go after the top guys who are virtually pros, and they already are preparing to be pros, it's you have a lot of issues there to try to get those guys to come play for you, right? It just goes with the territory. So let me go back to another, because Kansas has done it, right? They found Bill Self after Roy Williams left, right? Roy Williams, Larry Brown had won a national title. He cheated. They were on probation. and that's not unusual for Larry Brown among the stops he's made.
Cheating happened?
Well, Larry Brown, no question. But Roy Williams came in there, saved the program, right? And Kansas continued to be the traditional power that it's been for 50 years, going back to Wilt Chamberlain and those guys. But what do we think?
Ask it and we'll answer on the other side.
Yeah. So the question is, what will Duke look like in 10 years?
Okay. That's a good question. Also, Adam, we'll get to your phone call if you want to wait to the break. We'll come back and close out hour number 2 of Darren, Daunic, and Chase next.
The tag out at second base.
Nashville Sounds Baseball, the home of Hit City. Every hit.
Swung on, driven in the air. Go!
Strikeout.
Strike 3 called.
And home run of Sounds Baseball.
That ball is gone.
Can be heard all season long.
Sounds win.
On Nashville's home for ESPN Radio.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another cloudy and stormy day. High temperatures this afternoon around 81 degrees. A few storms this afternoon. Could be strong to severe. Storms wrap up tonight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we talk to men about sexual health issues all the time. And the one thing we hear often is how erectile dysfunction often makes bedroom performance both a disappointing and intimidating experience for a man and his partner. If you're over 50, what I just described could very well be happening to you. ED is a performance destroyer. It ruins your confidence and makes what should be a wonderful time of intimacy both stressful and unfulfilling. If this is a problem in your life, the Tennessee Men's Clinic can likely change your situation dramatically. And I say this with confidence because the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of men with treatments that have success rates as high as 90%. In fact, many patients are performing like they haven't in years. So make an appointment today. For just $99, you'll get a consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Contact your doctor if an erection lasts more than 4 hours. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra, results vary.
Betting fans want great up-to-the-minute information to wager your next bet? Tune in for Moneyline every Friday night at 6 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. Chase McCabe and Ryan Porth will give you an hour of betting information. Brought to you by Twin Spires. Download their betting app today.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Jared Stillman.
I mean, I'm serious. Who's going to be the quarterback of the Patriots? You cannot tell me it's going to be Cam.
And company.
Do I think that he had a really, really tough job following the GOAT? Yes, 100% I think he did.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Elliot Friedman coming up at noon. We're going to move him to noon today. We'll play David Poyle and John Hines in the final hour of the program, their press conference. So Elliot Friedman coming up at high noon. What will the Duke program look like in 10 years? But first, let's go back to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Adam wants to weigh in.
Hey, guys. So, yeah, my question, I'm happy for Coach K. I'm curious if, because you guys talk about the one and done, I always think, and tell me if this sounds stupid, but at my job, the more experience and education and skills you have, the higher pay grade you could get. So what if college sports were to do the same thing? If you come out as a sophomore, as a junior, you could get like a different pay bracket. Does that sound crazy?
Not at all. I hope. I think there are going to be, just because this sped through the legal system the way it did, and this is going to be so brand new. People have wanted it in concept, in theory, for so long. Now that you have it, there's a practicality thing. There's going to be some unintended consequences, right? People are going to be trying all kinds of things. How do they use it to their advantage? And it's going to take a while to sort out. And it's not all going to be pretty. But I kind of like that concept. The question is, how do you implement it? What's fair? But I love some sort of incentivizing to stay in school and to incentivize continuity, if nothing else. Not just stay in school, but stay at the same, stay playing with the same team. Let's not have this chaos of the portal being overcrowded, kids being encouraged to leave. What could keep you there? What could keep you sticking it out? I know coaches would go for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you could, once the portal is open, I don't think you can close the portal. So I think the portal's here to stay. But the question is that you're raising is, what can you do to help encourage people not to look at the portal, right? Not to be saying, should I go in the transfer portal? Should I move on? Give them more reasons to stay where you are, stay put. Because I think now that the portal is wide open, I saw a stat yesterday when this whole thing started, it was like the number was really, really, really low. And like today in Division I college basketball, I think there's like 1,400 kids in the transfer portal, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is like,
it's crazy. Well, you just
heard
Todd Walker talking about it for baseball, just trying to just trying to find a place for his son, who's a Division I player, to play. That's not overcrowded and log jammed. Every baseball program is dealing with that right now as it shakes out from last year.
Yep.
So John Shire will take over. He's 33, and Coach K's plan is he's the coach in waiting. This is. I guess he's not going to change his mind, I guess, right? So for a year, he's going to be groomed. And I know they addressed this at the press conference today. I didn't hear the details, but this is part of the succession plan, right? They're going to phase into John Shire. So John Shire, and now you could talk about this too with Hubert Davis at North Carolina. These are unproven head coaches.
Never been head coaches.
Now they are
in
North
Carolina
the family.
And Duke.
Right. They are in the family, though. They are they are bred in that family of, they bleed that color of blue. Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
so can they sustain it? It's not easy, right? Matt Doherty didn't do it.
Nope.
And he crashed and burned
big time.
But
Indiana has had a number of guys try it, and that hasn't worked. They've had 5 coaches in 20 years or whatever since they pulled the plug on Bobby Knight. So I don't know enough about either one of those guys, really. John Shire is a great player, but when John Shire comes knocking on your door recruiting, it's not going to be the same thing as Coach K.
No, but I mean, it doesn't matter. You could hire Brad Stevens, and Brad Stevens more than John Shire, but it's still not going to be the same as Coach K. I mean, anybody's